Kombo Amina Proto-moto Des, and we're going back to another deck profile. This week we have Abyss Actor. So Abyss Actor is a very fun and special deck for me because I love this archetype. This is like one of the main archetypes I thought was going to be the best back in the day because it allows you to kind of play around with your opponent and like have them pop your own background. It had a great feeling when your spell cards went off. But starting off with our starters, we play 3 copies of Abyss Actor Curtain Raiser. So Curtain Raiser is like starter because of its pendulum effect. If you control no monsters, you special summon this card from your pendulum zone, and you can activate this effect once per duel. So just remember that it's once per duel, not once per turn, and then you'll be fine. Next up, we play 3 copies of Abyss Actor's Extra. So Extras allows you to special summon it from the pendulum zone if your opponent controls a monster, and this one is once per turn. But the monster effect is pretty good, I would say, because it allows you to cheat out your copy of Madonna into your pendulum zone. So if you contribute this card, place 1 Abyss Actor Pendulum monster from your deck in your pendulum zone. Also for this turn, you can access some monsters like Abyss Actor monsters. Next up, we play 2 copies of Abyss Actor Wild Hope. So Wild Hope is a pretty good utility monster because pendulum-wise, you could target one other Abyss Actor card in your pendulum zone and then make that a scale 9, so you're able to go from a 2 to a 9, so that's really good. But you're also able to go, if this uses a monster effect, if it's destroyed, you can add 1 Abyss Actor card from your deck to your hand. That could be any Abyss Actor card, including this 1 spell card, Dress Rehearsal. Next up, we play 3 copies of Superstar. Superstar is kind of like your main pendulum summon, but you're able to set a Abyss script spell from your deck to your field, so you're able to use it that same turn. And then we play 3 copies of Madonna for our Searcher. So basically, you play 1k and add 1 Abyss Actor pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. And then this does lock you out of your extra deck, so just be careful when you use your monster effects. You always want to go your Link monsters, then you want to use Madonna's effect. Next up, we'll play 3 copies of Abyss Actor Comic Relief. So Comic Relief is pretty cool in a way because you could kind of swap your monsters around with your opponent, which is always fun. That's the pendulum effect. The monster effect is interesting too because it allows you to pop your own Abyss scripts that are set in your back row. So once per turn during your standby phase, give control of this card to your opponent. And once per turn, if this control of this face-up card changes, you activate the effect. The owner of this card can control 1 set Abyss scroll in the spell and trap zone. Next up, play 1 copy of Leading Lady. So Leading Lady is interesting because it's just another level 4 utility, but the battle effect is that when this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card is destroyed by a card effect, you can set 1 Abyss script spell from your deck, but it does kind of only there for your copy of Dweller and other Link materials. Next up, we play 2 copies of Abyss Actor Liberty Dramatist. So basically, when it's someone from the pendulum zone, the owner of the card reveals 3 Abyss script spells from their deck, and then their opponent randomly picks 1 to set to the card owner's field, which is yours, usually, and then you shuffle the rest on the deck. And then when this card is destroyed, you just shuffle 1 Abyss script spell from your deck to the graveyard, and also that the Abyss script that you do set gets popped during the end phase, so you might want to use it before that happens, but yeah. Moving on, we'll play 1 copy of Abyss Actor Twinkle Star. It's a scale 9, but also you're able to select 1 Abyss Actor monster and have it swing 3 times, basically, but that's the only monster. So usually you pair it up with Abyss Actor Evil Heal. So if Evil Heal is normal special summon, you can target 1 face-up monster controls. It loses 1,000 attack for each Abyss Actor monster you can control until the end of the turn. And then when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can target 1 Abyss script spell in your graveyard and set that card. Moving on, we have 2 copies of Trendy Understudy. So if you have 2 Abyss Actor cards in your pendulum zones, you get tribute this card to on level 1 or 8 Abyss Actor pendulum monster from your hand or face up from your extra deck. So basically it allows you to kind of cheat back out your copy of Evil Heal or another copy of your actors to go into something else. Use your actors to go into your other copies by tributing it. We play 3 copies of Ash Blossom as a standard hand trap, and that's pretty much it for the monsters. Moving on to our spells, we play 3 copies of Dress Rehearsal. So Dress Rehearsal needs to be the first card in your main phase. So when it says at the start of your main phase, this has to be the first card you play, or you cannot activate this card. So when you activate this card, add 1 Abyss Actor and 1 Abyss script spell from your deck to your hand, and then for the rest of the turn, this card resolves. You cannot pendulum summon except for Abyss Actor monsters. Next up, we play 3 copies of the new spell Dramatic Story. So you target 1 Abyss Actor pendulum monster control, special summon 1 Abyss Actor monster from your deck with a different name, and place that targeted monster in your pendulum zone or destroy it. If this card is set in your opponent's, if the set card is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, and you have face up Abyss Actor pendulum monsters, you can turn up to 2 cards on the field to the hand, and you can only activate once per turn. Next up, play 2 copies of Abyss Script. So for this one, you could gain 500 for each Abyss Actor monster under control. And then if the set card is destroyed, and you have face up Abyss Actor pendulum monsters in your extra deck, you draw until you have 5 cards in hand. So it's pretty good either way. Next up, we'll play 2 copies of Abyss King. So this allows you to pop up to the number of Abyss Actor monsters you control And then if you control level 7 or higher Abyss Actor monster, your opponent cannot activate cards effects in response to this card's activation. And then if the second card is destroyed, you could add up to 2 Abyss Actor cards or Abyss script spells with different names from your deck to your hand. We play 1 copy of Abyss Playhouse. We always play 1 copy because we don't really necessarily need to kind of cheat it out with like terraforming, because we also have like we have a built-in searcher with our Link 2. Then we play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence as our final 3 trap cards. You can also play around with this too, where with the trap cards you have Gozen Match as well as like any of like Rivalry of the Warlords, because that's all dark and fiend type monsters. So moving on to our extra deck, we play 1 copy of Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. And the way you cheat this 1 card out is by using your copy of Absolute Dragon, which is using 2 level 7 monsters. And then when this card is sent to the graveyard, it's supposed to one of Odd Eyes from your extra deck, so that usually is Vortex Dragon. Play 1 copy of Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller is pretty good right now in the meta, even though after post tiers. So this is also just a good utility. We play 1 copy of Axis Kotaku to just pop in general, and then we play 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn. It's a fiend type Link monster as well, and then it's a Link 3, so you could use this post-turn when you go after your Abyss Actor Super Producer. So Super Producer is your searcher for your field spell, so you do need to destroy 1 face-up card you control, and then you can activate 1 Abyss Playhouse from your deck to your field zone, or want to place 1 Abyss Actor Pendulum monster from your deck in your Pendulum zone. So it's similar to our next copy of Beyond the Pendulum. Beyond the Pendulum, if you do have your copies of your Curtain Raiser and then extras, you're able to go in this, search out your 2 scales, either could be the 9, 8s, or like and Mill Madonna, and then go activate those Pendulum Summon, and then activate the effect. Then we play 1 copy of Muckracker from the Underworld. So Muckracker is just a good way to clear off monsters out of the field, but it also does have a pretty neat protection effect where you contribute 1 fiend monster if a card would be destroyed by battle or card effect. And then we play 1 copy, or after Muckracker, we play 3 copies of Abyss Actor Hyperdirector. Hyperdirector is your Link 1, so like I said before, you have to use your Abyss Hyperdirector first before you use your copy of Mill Madonna. Usually it is your copy of whatever you normal summoned, like your copy of Wild Hope, go into your copy of Piper Director, have something else activated in the Pendulum Zone, go into Mill Madonna, use Mill Madonna on search, but that's when your combo stops there, so you really do have to rely on your heavyweights to pull through. And then we just play 1 copy of Link Rebo, just in case we need to clear off like a Link 1, like our Abyss Actor extras. Well, that's it for this deck profile. Like I said before, I'm a really big fan of Abyss Actors, and I hope you guys like this deck profile, and I'll catch you guys next time, alright? So, sayonara.